ऑल राइट, तो यहाँ से करते हैं मेडिवल हिस्ट्री से। अभी द फर्स्ट 7 पेजेस ऑफ दिस इस लेक्चर में रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, ठीक है? तो फिर मिल जाएगा। नाउ मुस्लिम इन्वेजन ऑफ इंडिया से स्टार्ट करते हैं, एंड दिल्ली सल्तनत एंड विजयनगर। सो अब ऋग्वेद में ऐसा लिखा है कि भारत, जो भारत वाला भूखंड है, लैंड फॉर्म है, दैट वाज डिस्क्राइब्ड इन द ऋग्वेद एज सप्त सिंधु, ठीक है? नाउ द इरानियंस कॉल्ड इट हिंदुस्तान। ये शब्द हमने नहीं बनाया, ये ईरान के लोगों ने बनाया था हिंदुस्तान, वाइल ग्रीक्स कॉल्ड इट इंडिया। हाउएवर टू रेफर टू द पीपल ऑफ द कंट्री, अरब्स कॉल्ड अस हिंदू, ठीक है? तो नाउ you can see that three various geographically distinctly positioned communities called us in by different names. So अब ऋग्वेद में सप्त सिंधु बोला, Arabs called us Hindu, and Iranians called Hindustan, ठीक है? So the Hindu term was first used by Arabians, ठीक है? So जो हमारी religion जहाँ तक कि उसके शब्द की बात है, तो दैट वाज कॉइंड बाय अरेबियंस, ठीक है? अरब्स। देन किंग दाहिर ऑफ सिंध फॉट द बैटल विद मोहम्मद बिन कासिम। ये बहुत फेमस बैटल है। किंग दाहिर ऑफ सिंध fought the battle with Muhammad bin Qasim in 712 CE. Qasim was successful in defeating the Hindu king Dahir, and Qasim was an Arab. After defeating Dahir, the Arab Empire could not, however, spread east of Multan, and it gradually declined. Now, this was an ineffective victory. Their incomplete task was done by the Turks later on. After this invasion, which was limited to Sindh for 300 years, kings like Raja Bhoj and other Gurjara Pratihar kings thwarted further Muslim attacks, ठीक है? So question ये ज़्यादा important है कि why was, even after gaining victory against the Hindu king Dahir of Sindh, why was not Muhammad bin Qasim able to advance his empire eastwards towards the India? So thanks to the tough resistance offered by Raja Bhoj and the Gurjara Pratihar kings in the northwestern area of India, so they resisted and offered a tough resistance to this King Dahir. और इसलिए जो ये सिंध का हेजमनी था लगभग 300 साल तक लिमिटेड ही रहा। मतलब ये जो मोहम्मद बिन कासिम Arabic invasion incursions remain limited for the next 300 years due to the efforts of these Indian kings like Raja Bhoj and Gurjara kings. Now, founder of Ghaznavid dynasty was a Turk. First of all, he was a Turk, Laptigin. He was a Turkish slave who in course of time established an independent kingdom in the capital of Ghazni. Now Ghazni is a place, I think it is in Afghanistan. So this Turkish slave, now you can see that how Arabs are getting taken over by Turks. So one such Turkish slave was a Laptigin, and he founded the Ghaznavid dynasty, or they were particularly Turkish, and the new Ghaznavid kingdom soon took over the Samanid dynasty. नाउ अरब्स तो चले ही गए, साथ ही साथ गजनवी डायनेस्टी इतनी ज़्यादा पावरफुल हो गई कि दे ऑल्सो ओवरटुक द सामनिड डायनेस्टी. नाउ आई थिंक द सामनिड डायनेस्टी इज़ ईरान में होती है. नाउ द चंडेल डायनेस्टी इज़ फेमस फॉर किंग विद्याधर who repulsed the attacks of Turks under Mahmud Ghaznavi in 1019-1020 CE. Now you have to remember the name of this king, because when we were reading about the Arab incursions, then we remembered 2 Indian kings who resisted further incursions by the Arabs. So they were Gurjara Pratihar kings and the Raja Bhoj. Similarly, when the Turks came attacking us, the Chandel dynasty ka ruler ek the ye King Vidyadhar, he repulsed the attacks of Turks under Mahmud Ghaznavi in 1020 CE. However, Mahmud Ghaznavi was able to raid India 17 times. Afterwards, Chandels ruled from 9 to 13 CE, and their first capital city was Khajuraho, which was later shifted to Mahoba in Uttar Pradesh. Now, please Google it. What was the ancient name of Mahoba? I think it is Mahotsav Nagar, I guess. I'll confirm that. So, Arab incursions को किन दो इंडियन किंग्स ने सक्सेसफुली रेसिस्ट किया 300 साल तक? सो दैट वाज राजा भोज एंड गुर्जरा प्रतिहार्स. हालांकि किंग दाहिर नहीं कर पाया, वो हार गया. Then after several hundred years, when the Turks incursions started, then this Chandel dynasty ruler King Vidyadhar, he was successful enough to resist Mahmud Ghaznavi. However, Ghaznavi also was able to raid India 17 times, And this way Chandels were able to rule from 9th to 13th century CE. So their first capital city was Khajuraho, and then which was later shifted to Mahoba in Uttar Pradesh. Now Ghazni had three important officials working in close association. So एक तो फिरदौसी हम जानते हैं उसका नाम, और फिरदौसी का epithet याद कर सकते हैं. He was also called as Homer of the East, who wrote a book called Shahnama. The second person was Al-Biruni. He wrote Tehqiq-e-Hind and Kitab al-Patanjal, which was Patanjali's योग सूत्र का पर्शियन ट्रांसलेशन किया था Al-Biruni ने. और तीसरा था उटबी रोट किताबुल यामिनी. सो ये उटबी जो तीसरा वाला है ये ज़्यादा भूलता है. तो एक फिरदौसी था, ही वॉज कॉल्ड एज होमर ऑफ द ईस्ट, ही रोट शाहनामा. एंड देन Al-Biruni थे, who wrote couple of books, Kitabul Patanjal and Kitabul Hind. And then the third one was Utbi, who wrote Kitabul Yamani. Now Al-Biruni came to India in the 11th century with Mahmud Ghazni. He wrote Tehqiq-e-Hind and Kitabul Patanjal. Al-Biruni was the first Muslim to study Puranas. Now this is one very important fact. इस पर direct सवाल बन सकता है. Al-Biruni was the first outsider Muslim to study Puranas. He was not only a historian but also took interest in various other subjects. Ghazni was the ruler to issue silver coins with Sanskrit legends on one side. Silver coins with Sanskrit legends, तो ये किसके लिए attribute किया जाएगा? Ghazni, महमूद गजनी को attribute किया जाएगा Sanskrit legends on the silver coins. So that was done by Mahmud Ghazni. Now if we talk about Ghori, Ghori was another Turk after Mahmud Ghazni. Ghori first attacked from the Gujarat side 1178, but he could not succeed because of this particular person, Raja Bhimdev, who belonged to the Solanki dynasty, Bhimdev II actually. So 1178 mein Ghori tried to attack from the Gujarat side, but Bhimdev II of the Solanki dynasty could not, he offered a tough resistance to Ghori and Ghori could not advance. Hence Ghori never tried to attack from Gujarat side. Then Bhimdev II was a ruler of Solanki dynasty, I already told you. Then Ghori was defeated by Jaichand, also the king of Kannauj, 1194 CE. This battle was fought in Chandavar, which is near modern Firozabad, Etawah region on the banks of river Yamuna near Agra. So Ghori's coins contain images of goddess Lakshmi and Arabic kalma on both sides. Now Sanskrit legends on silver coins, that was Mahmud Ghazni, but when we talk of Ghori, it was goddess Lakshmi and Arabic kalma on both sides of the coin. ठीक है, so that is Ghori. Now Ghori had to face a couple of setbacks, one from the Gujarat side by Bhimdev II of the Solanki dynasty. I think that was in 1178, and then another setback in 1194. Another setback in 1194 that was offered by Jaichand, the king of Kannauj. This battle was fought. The name of this battle was Chandavar, which is an area near modern Firozabad Etawah border on the banks of river Yamuna. So Battle of Chandavar was fought between Ghori and Jaichand, the king of Kannauj, right, in 1194. Now soon after Ghori's victories, Akta system established in North India, and there is a term for this, I think satrapy system, yes. So Akta system was established in the North India, and Ghori appointed Aibak to take care of the administration of the North Indian territories conquered by them as representative of Ghori till 1206. During this period, Aibak also expanded Turkish power in North India. Ghori and Aibak did not ever think of conquering Bihar and Bengal. This task was accomplished by their ordinary slave Muhammad bin Bakhtiyar Khalji. Now 1202 mein Bakhtiyar Khalji captured Bihar and destroyed the Vikramshila and Nalanda, and also captured the capital Odantapuri. 1205 he attacked Bengal, where its ruler Lakshman Sen fled away, and capital Nadia was robbed. Bakhtiyar Khalji did not capture the whole of Bengal, but he made his capital, sort of changed the capital of Bengal and made it Lucknowti as the new capital of Bengal. So this is very interesting. Ghori as well as Aibak did not think of advancing eastwards towards Bengal, so this task was bestowed upon their ordinary slave Muhammad bin Bakhtiyar Khilji. So Muhammad bin Bakhtiyar Khilji assaulted couple of times. One in 1202 when he destroyed Vikramshila, Nalanda and Odantapuri. That was the capital of Bihar back then, I guess. So Vikramshila, Nalanda, and Odantpuri. These were raided by Bakhtiyar Khilji in 1202. Then, after 3 years, in 1205, Bakhtiyar Khilji again further marched eastwards till Bengal and forced Lakshman Sen to take asylum outside, take shelter outside Bengal, and then he changed the capital Nadia. However, Bakhtiyar Khilji did not capture the whole of Bengal, but he did change the capital. Of Bengal to Lucknowti. So that is the eastward expansion of Gurits. Then, okay. Then founder of the slave dynasty was Aibak. Yeah, I already told you that Aibak ruled up till 1206, I think, yes. Now, he ruled from 1206 to... He did not rule till 1206. He ruled as a representative of Ghori till 1206, after which he declared independence, sort of. And he ruled independently by establishing the slave dynasty from 1206 to 1210. He established capital at two places, one at Lahore and the other at Delhi. In early years, owing to his skills of swordsmanship and horse riding, he was appointed as a commander of troop. Afterwards, he was promoted to the post of Amiri Akhur, that is the master of royal stable. Ghori was immensely pleased with him, and Aibak was appointed as the governor of his Indian Empire. 1206, Ghori, on his way back to Ghazni, died, and since he had no successors, Aibak, who was the viceroy of his Indian Empire, was invited by amirs of Lahore to assume the power. So, if you read between the lines, you get to know why Ghori appointed Aibak as his true successor when it comes to the representative of entire Indian Empire, because he was sick while going back to Ghazni, and then he had no biological successors. So Aibak seemed the most probable choice, and then Aibak was called by the amirs of Lahore to assume power of India. Now, initially Aibak had worked as a swordsman and horse rider in the army of Ghori, and owing to his superior skills in these two areas, he was also appointed as Amiri Akhur, in charge of Amiri Akhur, that is master of royal stable. Okay, then Aibak is known as Lakh Baksh as for his welfare schemes. Then he patronized scholars like Hasan Nizami and Faqih Mudabbir. So Hasan Nizami and Faqih Mudabbir, these were the scholars patronized by Aibak. Aibak also constructed Quwwatul Islam in Delhi, Dhai Din Ka Jhopda, and another mosque in Ajmer. He also started the foundation of Qutub Minar. He started the foundation of Qutub Minar. Later, Iltutmish added 3 stories to the tower, and the top 2 stories were built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. And Iltutmish added 3 stories to the tower. Now, Yalduz, the governor of Kirman, ascended the throne of Ghazni, while Kabacha, governor of Multan, never recognized Aibak as the ruler of Delhi. Hence, Aibak always stayed in Lahore and never got the chance to move to Delhi. Aibak died in 1210 while playing shogun or polo. This point is very important because Aibak was called by the Amils or Amirs. Aibak was called by the... where is that? Amirs of Lahore. Okay, so Aibak was called by the Amirs of Lahore to assume the power over India. So he was called to Lahore. This point is very important in the sense that there were 2 other rivals of Aibak. I think they were sons of Muhammad Ghori. So one was Yalduz and the other was... So Yalduz was governor of Kirman, who ascended the throne of Ghazni, while Kabacha ascended the throne... Not ascended the throne, but he was just the governor of Multan. So he was sort of working under his brother Yalduz. So Yalduz was given the throne of Ghazni. Yalduz was initially governor of Kirman, and Kabacha was initially governor of Multan. But Yalduz was promoted to take over the throne of Ghazni. But the more important point is that both of these persons did not recognize Aibak as the ruler of Delhi. And also Aibak stayed in Lahore most of the times. He never got a chance to move to Delhi, and that's why these 2 brothers also thought that India ke upar ka power Aibak ko milna theek nahi hai. Then Iltutmish was the real Turkish ruler of Delhi. Before this, Aibak ruled in Delhi from Lahore. He introduced the first silver and copper currencies in the form of coins. So अगर हम लोग प्योर सिल्वर और प्योर कॉपर के रूप में डिस्टिंक्ट कॉइन्स की कॉइनेज सिस्टम बनाने की बात करें, तो दैट वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड फर्स्टली बाय द इल्तुतमिश, एंड ही इंट्रोड्यूस्ड द इक्तादारी सिस्टम. सो I think silver, tanka and copper jital, we know that. Iltutmish was recognized as Muslim Sultan of India by Khalifa of Baghdad. खलीफा बगदाद का रिकग्निशन इनको मिला था, आफ्टर विच ही अज्यूम्ड द टाइटल ऑफ अमीरी मोमिनी. सो मोमिनी, अमीरुल मोमिनी वाली टाइटल इल्तुतमिश को है, दैट इज़ कमांडर ऑफ द फेथफुल्स, एंड हैड द नेम ऑफ खलीफा इंस्क्राइब्ड ऑन हिज कॉइन्स. So because he was recognized officially by the Khalifa of Baghdad, he assumed the title Amirul Momini, that is commander of the faithfuls. And then Iltutmish in 1224, by not giving Prince Mangbarni asylum, an asylum, he saved sort of Delhi Sultanate, saved his empire from the wrath of Genghis Khan. So you have to remember that this year very important. He did not give asylum to this refugee Mangbarni in the year 1224. Then in 1225, Iltutmish defeated Awaz near Rajmahal Hills and annexed Bihar. So this is another important point. Iltutmish defeated Awaz and annexed Bihar in 1225. Later he appointed Malik Jani as the new Subedar of Bihar. So he annexed, but he gave the control to someone else. The control of Bihar was given to Malik Jani. Iltutmish also formed Turkane-Chahalgani, that's the council of 40 noble ministers. Since Khalifa himself recognized Iltutmish was the first legally independent Sultan of Delhi. He kept the Delhi throne safe from Mongol invasion from the attacks of Kabacha and Yalduz. Iltutmish also suppressed Rajputs in north. He belonged to the Ilbari tribe of Eurasian steppes. So, इनकी tribes थोड़ी सी अलग थी. Iltutmish initially served as governor of Badaयूं. जैसे हमने बताया कि Yalduz was the governor of Kerman initially, and Kabacha was governor of Multan. But then Yalduz was promoted to take over the throne of Ghazni. Similarly, Iltutmish was initially the governor of Badaयूं, okay, and then Iltutmish later on, and he belonged to the tribe of Eurasian steppes. Then Iltutmish is also called as slave of the slave, who later married the daughter of Aibak. So this is another important point, that he married the daughter of Aibak. Now Razia 1236-40, the Turkish nobles were reluctant to accept a woman as their ruler and conspired against her in 1239 when she was busy in managing rebellion by the governor of Lahore. Nobles took advantage of her absence in Delhi and dethroned her, but she successfully succeeded her father Iltutmish. Now Bahauddin or Ghiyazuddin Balban, he came in 1266 CE. He was the ninth sultan. Who reduced the power of nobility and heightened the stature of sultan. He had helped Mongols and Turks in the rebellion against Razia. So he had helped Mongols and Turks in the rebellion against Razia. Okay. So Balban was somehow previously against Razia. He was also an Ilbari Turk. Balban married his daughter. So Balban was also an Ilbari Turk, just like Iltutmish. And he sort of helped the rebellions, because हमने पढ़ा ना, Razia faced the rebellion of governor of Lahore. So actually Bahauddin or Ghiyazuddin Balban was supporting that rebellion against Razia. So Balban married his daughter with Nasruddin, and on this occasion he was given the title of Ulugh Khan by Nasruddin Mahmud, his son-in-law. So Ulugh Khan Balban को ही बोलते हैं, and नायब mamlikat Ulugh Khan Ghiyazuddin Balban. Then he adopted blood and iron policy and gave Sultan the meaning of Niyamat-e-Khudai, meaning the representative of God, or Zil-e-Hilahi, that is image of God. He introduced Sijda and Paibos, and Iranian festival Navroz was started by him. The only revolt that Balban faced was the Subedar of Bihar. Like I said, Iltutmish के दो बहुत important steps हैं. एक तो 1224 में उसने asylum नहीं दिया मंगबरनी को, और 1225 में उसने बिहार को annex कर लिया and appointed the Subedar Malik Jani over there. But somehow after Iltutmish, Bihar again asserted independence, and again बिहार को अनेक्स किया बलबन ने, और सूबेदार वहाँ अपॉइंट कर दिया तुगरील खान को इस बार. ना बलबन तक स्लेव डायनेस्टी चल रही थी. बलबन मेड दीवानी अर्ज, दैट इज़ द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मिलिट्री, और ये आगे तक भी चलेगी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मिलिट्री, एंड अपॉइंटेड इमादुल मुल्क एज हिज कमांडर. तो ये जो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मिलिट्री बनाया उसको इमादुल मुल्क के अंतर्गत सौंप दिया इंचार्ज के रूप में. द क्रेडिट ऑफ गुड अरेंजमेंट ऑफ बलबन्स आर्मी गोज टू इमादुल मुल्क. ऑन द वॉल्स ऑफ टेम्पल एट गढ़ मुक्तेश्वर, जो यहाँ गढ़ मुक्तेश्वर जो टेम्पल उत्तर प्रदेश में है, बलबन रोट हिमसेल्फ एज द हेल्पर ऑफ द कालिफ. मतलब हिंदू टेम्पल पे लिखने की क्या ज़रूरत थी, उसने लिख दिया कि हेल्पर ऑफ द कालिफ. नाउ अलाउद्दीन वाज द फर्स्ट किंग ऑफ दिल्ली आफ्टर बलबन who established the state's control over religion. So state took control over religion. This happened for the first time in the Alauddin's reign. or we can say that he separated religion from politics. He did not used to take permission of Khalifa about his empire expansion. He also adopted the title of खिलाफत नसीरी अमीरुल मोमिनी. तो एक मोमिनी वाली टाइटल है जो थोड़ी सी शॉर्ट है, और एक मोमिनी वाली टाइटल जो बहुत लंबी है, 3-4 वर्ड की है. सो लंबा वाला है अलाउद्दीन खिलजी का. सिकंदर सनी, that was also the title adopted by Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin freed himself from the control of ulemas. Alauddin had the ambition to win the entire world and also to introduce a new religion, but he abandoned this idea on the advice of his friend Allah ul Mulk. Alright, then Alauddin's famous army commander was Zafar Khan, who died while resisting the Mongol invasions. ठीक है. So तुगरिल खान बलबन के समय था सूबेदार बिहार, मलिक जानी इल्तुतमिश के समय था सूबेदार बिहार, और अल्लाह उल मुल्क तो उनको ये एडवाइस किया कि थोड़ा सा काम डाउन. और अलाउद्दीन खिलजी का कमांडर कौन था जो मारा गया वाइल फाइटिंग मंगोल्स? दैट वाज जफर खान. नाउ पद्मिनी इज बेस्ड ऑन द बुक पद्मावत रिटन बाय मलिक मोहम्मद जयासी इन 1540. नाउ आई नो दैट. Wealth and pride encouraged Alauddin to attack the states of the south. There was no intention of annexation or interference in the internal policy of the southern empires. So 1296 से अब हम ब्रेक लेते हैं. 1296 से हम अगले वीडियो में देखते हैं ब्रेक लेने के बाद. ऑलराइट, तो ये रामचंद्र देव का क्या किस्सा है अलाउद्दीन खिलजी के साथ, ये देखना ज़रूरी है. ठीक है, तो बात है 1296 की. रामचंद्र देव was the ruler of Devgiri. Devgiri, you know that Yadavas are famous for ruling Devgiri. So Ramchandra Dev was ruling Devgiri, and 1296 में at the time of Alauddin's invasion in Devgiri, he promised to pay a certain amount to Delhi as a tribute. Ramchandra Dev promised to pay a certain amount as a tribute to Alauddin Khilji's Delhi empire. And this happened in 1296, but after 10 years in 1306 he stopped giving his money and at Delhi, at which Alauddin sent an army under Malik Kafur to attack Devgiri again, where he surrendered again. Now Alauddin behaved well with him this time and gave him the title of Rai Rayan. So Rai Rayan is one of lesser heard titles. अगर ये क्वेश्चन में आ जाता है तो दिक्कत हो जाएगी. राय रायण नाम की टाइटल इसको दिया रामचंद्र देव को, एंड अलॉटेड हिम नवसारी डिस्ट्रिक्ट दे दिया इसको. लेटर इन 1312, दैट इज अनदर 6 years लेटर, मलिक काफूर अगेन फॉट अगेंस्ट रामचंद्र देव्स सन शंकर देव से फिर लड़ाई हुई 1312 में मलिक काफूर की. एंड ऑल्सो इन 1303 अलाउद्दीन्स आर्मी फेस्ड डिफीट अगेंस्ट काकटिया रूलर्स ऑफ वारंगल. हेयर प्रतारुद्र Kakatiya king defeated Fakhruddin Juna and Chajju, who were the military generals of Alauddin Khilji. So Fakhruddin Juna and Chajju, they were defeated by Pratarudra Kakatiya ruler. So यादवाज ऑफ देवगिरी पे तो कब्ज़ा बना लिया था अलाउद्दीन ने, और रेगुलर पेमेंट भी रिसीव करता था उनसे. द स्टोरी स्टार्टेड इन 1296 व्हेन Alauddin invaded Devgiri, and the Devgiri's ruler Ramchandra Dev promised to pay a certain amount to Delhi regularly, but in 1306, that is 10 years from 1296, he stopped giving his money, at which Alauddin again sent Malik Kafur to attack Devgiri. Again Ramchandra Dev surrendered, and again a settlement was reached. This time Rai Rayan title was conferred to Ramchandra Dev, and also Navsari district as a gift. As a cordial gesture, Alauddin gifted Navsari district to Ramchandra Dev. But again, in 1312, Ramchandra Dev's son stopped paying tributes to Delhi, and again Malik Kafur had to fight against Ramchandra Dev's son, that is Shankar Dev. Amidst these Yadavas of Devgiri का पूरा ये जो किस्सा है, Alauddin Khilji also tried to capture Kakatiyas and establish a similar regular tribute mechanism, extortionist tribute mechanism with Kakatiyas of Warangal, but he was unable to do so because he got defeated by Pratarudra of Kakatiya of Warangal. So two military generals of Alauddin, Fakhruddin Juna and Chajju, they got defeated by Pratarudra Kakatiya king. Now Khalisa land in medieval times, especially during the rule of Alauddin snatched all the lands from those who got it as milk, that is as a prize or a pension, or given by state, or even waqf, that is given under charity. So all such lands was part of the Khalisa land, which was you can consider that similar to the transfer payments. So that we study in economy, transfer payments. So milk, prize, pension, waqf, all such lands were brought under the Khalisa land, या ये कह सकते हैं कि nationalize कर दिया. Alauddin fixed the land revenue kharaj to 50%. So kharaj was kept at 50%. He was the first ruler to charge tax by measuring the land. He also levied grahi and chari tax, like the grazing and the house tax was called chari, and grazing tax was called chari, and house tax was grahi. Later Muhammad bin Tughlaq also charged 50% tax. So kharaj was 50% during the Alauddin Khalji's times. So I think kharaj meant there was a certain amount of agricultural produce that was supposed to be given to the state as a share, and the remaining was to be kept by the cultivators themselves. So the remnant of the portion that was to be kept by the cultivators themselves, that was called as kharaj, and that kharaj was set aside at 50% by Alauddin Khalji, and later on Muhammad bin Tughlaq also charged 50% of the agricultural produce. However, tax liabilities through land measurement mechanism was limited in Delhi and nearby areas only, and not entirely across the empire. He made a separate department, Diwani Mustakhraj. We have talked about that. Also, he took away traditional rights of landlords and officers like Khut and Muqaddam and Chaudhry. So they had certain policing rights as well, erstwhile, but then he took away these rights, traditional rights of landlords and village headmen, revenue collectors like Khut, Muqaddam and Chaudhrys, to charge taxes from people, and rather taxed these officers as well. So Alauddin took away the powers of these personalities called Khut, Muqaddams and Chaudhrys, who were the village headmen, who had the power of taxing the village people. But then Alauddin took away these powers from Khut, Muqaddams and Chaudhrys, and Alauddin in turn taxed these people as well. This way there was no difference between Khut, who was a landlord, and a Balahar, who was an ordinary peasant. Iqta system was also abolished. That was started by Iltutmish. Iqta system was abolished during Alauddin Khilji. ठीक है. Now Alauddin Amiri Tuzuk, that is the master of ceremonies. He was previously Amiri Tuzuk and Arzi Mumalik, that is minister of law. So before becoming the Sultan of Delhi, he served as in the position in the capacity of Amiri Tuzuk and Amiri Mumalik. Amiri Mumalik meant minister of law, and Amiri Tuzuk meant minister of ceremonies. Then he was the first to introduce the price control policy or the public distribution systems. He appointed Malik Kabul or Shehna as inspector of the markets. Now remember that mark the minute difference between Shahna and Shehna. So Shahna was like एक शेरशाह सूरी के समय पे हर 8 कोस दूरी पे एक वॉच टावर लगाया गया था सड़क पे, ठीक है. और उस वॉच टावर में जो मॉनिटर करने वाला इंस्पेक्टर बैठता था, ही वॉज कॉल्ड एज शाहना, SHAHNA. वेराज अलाउद्दीन खिलजी के समय ये जो SHEHNA शहना है, ये एक इंस्पेक्टर ऑफ मार्केट है. ही यूज्ड टू चेक द एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज़ एंड होर्डिंग amongst the essential commodities and for profiteering. So Shehna or Malik Kabul appointed Malik Kabul as Shehna along with Diwani Riyasat and Naib Riyasat. So Diwani Riyasat and Diwani Riyasat, I think ये क्या था, and Naib Riyasat. So Diwani Riyasat was the department put under in charge of Naib Riyasat and provided him with large detachment of cavalry and infantry for this work. So what was the Diwani Riyasat under Alauddin Khilji? So if we ask Google, the Diwani Riyasat was the department established by Khilji to regulate market prices and maintain standards in the markets. The Diwani Riyasat was responsible for registering all commodity supplies and maintaining market standards. This included checking weights and measures as well. Then what about Diwani Mustakhraj? So the Diwani Mustakhraj was a revenue department established by Alauddin Khilji to collect revenue arrears and taxes from different parts of Delhi Sultanate. Here are some other departments established by Diwan-e Waqf, established by Jalaluddin Khilji. This department responsible for grants and religious affairs, but that was established by Jalaluddin Khilji. Diwan-e Riyasat, responsible for regulating market prices. Diwani Kohi, established by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The department was responsible for agriculture. Diwani Arz, established by Balban. The department was responsible for religious affairs. अर्ज तो मिलिट्री का था ना, Diwani Insha correspondence, then Baridi Mamalik. This department responsible for Sultanate's postal system. Baridi Mamalik, Sultanate's postal system. Amiri Dad. This department responsible for Sultanate's administration of justice. And Waki-e-Dar. This department was responsible for management of royal household. Wakil-e-Dar, royal household. Amiri Dad, justice. Baridi Mamalik, the Sultanate's postal system. And Diwani Insha, that is correspondence. Diwani Arz, ये confusion हो रहा है because Diwani Arz is I think military, not, and Diwani Ariz was finance. I will ask Diwani Arz. So military department of the Delhi Sultanate, established by Balban. ठीक है, we cannot rely entirely on the AI. So Diwani Riyasat market standard को maintain करने के लिए था. Then Barani describes the purpose of market control as to prepare and maintain army against Mongols and curb the idea of Hindu rebellion. Alauddin had a huge army in the center and gave them wages in cash. He was the first sultan to do so. The expenses of army was huge. As Barani writes, if the army had been given normal wages, state treasury would have depleted within 6 months. Thus, he reduced the wages of soldiers, and to make sure that soldiers do not suffer, he also fixed the prices of commodities at reduced rates for their consumption, so that his soldiers could live comfortably. Alauddin patronized poets like Amir Khusro and Mir Hasan Dehlvi. So these two scholars were exclusively Amir Khusro and Mir Hasan Dehlvi, related to Alauddin Khilji. He proclaimed kingship knows no kinship. This was another philosophy of Alauddin Khilji. Kingship knows no kinship. Kingship knows no kinship. That is a philosophy of Alauddin Khilji. Barani wrote Tarikhi Firuz Shahi and Faizanul Futuh about Alauddin's conquest. Faizanul Futuh and Tarikhi Firuz Shahi. Tarikhi Firuz Shahi and Faizanul Futuh, these two were written by Barani. He also banned festivals, marriages without permissions, wines, and recognized Barids as intelligence officers and Muhayyas as spies. ठीक है, Barids and Muhayyas. ठीक है. Now Indus River was the ordinary boundary between Khaljis and the Mongols. ये बहुत important fact है. Indus River was the boundary between Khaljis and the Mongols. However, Mongols had tried to cross the border in 1325 under Shri Mughal but were thwarted by Subedar Malik Shadi. Alauddin defeated Mongols in the battles of Jalandhar, Kili, Amroha, Ravi, Jakar. No, that is the mnemonic. So that is Jalandhar, Kili, Amroha, Ravi. Jalandhar, Kili, Amroha, Ravi. And in the same order. So the battles started 1298 and consecutively went till 1306. Give or take a couple of years gaps in between. Alauddin also went south and fought against the Yadavas, Kakatiyas and Hoysals, two of which I have already mentioned here. Kakatiyas के प्रताप रुद्र से तो हार मिल गई थी. शंकरादेव और रामचंद्र देव का तो किस्सा हम बता चुके हैं. 1308 ककाटिया से हार गए थे. एंड होयसाल्स पे भी हमला किया था, बट द आइडिया वाज नॉट टू एनेक्स. सो JKAR, these were the Mongolian conflicts with Khaljis. Indus River was considered as the border between Khaljis and the Mongols. JKAR, that is Jalandhar, Kili, Amroha and Ravi. So Ravi in 1306, Jalandhar in 1298. So that is the end of Khaljis. Then Ghazi Malik Tughlaq. Now we have to do this Tughlaq dynasty. अब ये पेज देख लेते हैं. आधा पेज ये, फिर एक ये, फिर एक ये, तो 2.5 पेज बचे हैं. ठीक है, इसी में निपटा देते हैं. So Ghazi Malik Tughlaq was the first ruler of Tughlaq dynasty among the commanders of Alauddin. He founded the Tughlaq dynasty. His mother was a Hindu Jat lady, while father was a Turk. So we are talking about Ghazi Malik Tughlaq or Ghiazuddin Tughlaq. He was appointed in Depalpur initially, and he got the title of Malikul Ghazi because he defeated Mongols 29 times. Malikul Ghazi title मिली थी Ghazi Malikul Ghazi because he defeated Mongols 29 times. He was born to a Hindu Jat lady and father was a Turk. Ascended the throne in 1320 by dethroning Khusro Shah. Tughlaq dynasty was the longest among the Delhi Sultans. Ascended the throne in 1320 by dethroning Khusro Shah. Now Tughlaq dynasty was the longest among Delhi Sultans. Now slave is from 1206 to 1290. Khaljis from 1290 to 1320. Tughlaqs from 1320 to 1414. Then Sayyids from 1415 to 1450. Lodhis from 1451 to 1526, and Mughals from 1526 to 1707. So Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq built Tughlaqabad at which is the second fortified city. So Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq is same as Ghazi Malik Tughlaq. उसको मलिकुल गाजी टाइटल मिली because he defeated Mongols 29 times. दीपलपुर का initially governor था, and Tughlaqs were the longest to rule amongst the Delhi sultans. Then मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक, अब ये जहानपना बनाए थे और बेगमपुरी मॉस्क बनाए थे, ठीक है. जहानपना एंड बेगमपुरी मॉस्क, these two buildings are lesser known buildings. तो जहानपना और बेगमपुरी मॉस्क, these were built by MBT. He was the most learned ruler among the all sultans of Delhi, well versed in astronomy, mathematics, medical science. He established a new department called Diwani Amiri Koi for the development of agriculture. He was the first to undertake irrigation seriously. He shifted his capital from Delhi to Devgiri in south, probably because according to Barani, Devgiri was centrally located in his empire. But according to Ibn Battuta, the people of Delhi used to write undifferential letters to Sultan, and to make them punish, he decided to make Devgiri his capital. So if you write these two accounts in your answer, it will be very good. So according to Barani, Devgiri was more centrally located in an orientation. If in orientations, Devgiri was more centrally located if we look the overall empire of Delhi Sultanate. But according to Ibn Battuta, the people of Delhi used to write undifferential letters to Sultan, and to make them punish, he decided to make the capital Devgiri. Aibak had previously changed the name of Devgiri to Kutubabad. ये भी सवाल पूछ सकता है. तो ये देवगिरी टू कुतुबाबाद ये तो ऐबक ने किया था, और ये ऐबक पढ़ते समय हम लोग नहीं ध्यान दिए. तो देवगिरी का नाम बदल के कुतुबाबाद कर दिया था ऐबक ने, वाइल मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक चेंज्ड इट्स नेम टू दौलताबाद. तो मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक ने उसको कुतुबाबाद से दौलताबाद कर दिया. नाउ देवगिरी इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज कवत्तुल इस्लाम. According to Barani, Muhammad bin Tughlaq introduced token currency due to these reasons: lack of funds in the treasury, policy of expanding the empire, got inspired by Kublai Khan of China. There was a silver shortage across the world and India. These new coins were issued in gold, and Ibn Battuta called them dinar. The coins were minted in gold because Muhammad bin Tughlaq wanted to promote his military power and not increase trade with West Asia and North Africa. Barani also gave 5 blunders of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Increase in Doab tax. Now this is very important, and mind you, the coins were minted in gold because Muhammad bin Tughlaq wanted to promote his military power and not increase trade with West Asia or North Africa. So remember that point as well. This is also one of the conceptual parts. Now also Muhammad bin Tughlaq introduced token currency because of lack of funds in treasury, and there was a general shortage of silver. Then the coins were minted in gold during his time because Muhammad bin Tughlaq wanted to promote his military power and not increase trade. Then Barani also gave 5 blunders of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that is increase in the Doab tax, Devgiri as the new capital, token currency in gold, and attack on Khorasan or the Khorasan expedition, and failed Karachal expedition. These were 5 reasons for his downfall that Barani quotes in his book. Now, the famous Moroccan traveler Ibn Battuta came to India in 1333 during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Later in 1342, he was sent to China as ambassador of Sultan. Mind you, in 1374, even the Sangam dynasty sent their expedition to China. So even before that, Muhammad bin Tughlaq sent Ibn Battuta to China in 1342. Ibn Battuta wrote Kitabul Rahela लिखी थी Ibn Battuta ने, where he gave detailed description of the postal system in India. Now we just talked about the department of postal system was called as what? Department of Postal System, we read it somewhere here. So it was called Barid-e-Mumalik. Barid-e-Mumalik. This was the department of postal system. Let me write that all. Barid-e-Mumalik postal system में था, और बाकी जो 2 हैं वो भी हम लिख लेते हैं. So we will write that here. ठीक है. So Barid-e-Mumalik was the postal system. Amiri Dad was justice, and Wakili Dar, this was about royal household stuff. Wakili Dar was responsible for management of the royal household. ठीक है. Now Muhammad bin Tughlaq also constructed Jahanpana and Begumpuri Mosque. ये तो हम already बता चुके हैं. Now Muhammad bin Tughlaq, first of the sultans who participated in public celebrations of Hindus, especially Holi festival. तो ये होली फेस्टिवल बहुत धूमधाम से मनाता था, और नॉन टर्क्स को भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में रखा था. इंडियन मुस्लिम्स को भी हायर पोस्ट पे रखा था. दिस वॉज क्रिटिसाइज्ड बाय बरानी एंड ही टर्म्ड मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक एज गार्डनर बार्बर. तो गार्डनर और बार्बर जैसी बेइज्जती करने वाली उपाधि मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक के लिए किस लेखक ने इस्तेमाल किया था? तो दैट वाज बरानी. Muhammad bin Tughlaq celebrated holy festival. He appointed non-Turks and Indian Muslims higher in the administration, which was not to the liking of Barani. Then Muhammad bin Tughlaq faced a rebellion from Gujarat's ruler Tagi. तागी नामक कोई गुजरात का रूलर था, वो रेबेल किया मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक के समय. मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक suppressed the revolt while Tagi fled to Sindh. Now MBT died in his pursuit for Tagi en route Sindh. On his death, Barani wrote, "The king was freed from the people and the people were freed from the king." This statement belonged to Badayuni's book called Muntakab Lubab. एक सेकंड, तुमने यहाँ लिखा है बरानी और यहाँ लिख दिया है बदायूनी. अब इसमें से सही क्या है? Anyways, so Muhammad bin Tughlaq died while chasing Tagi, who was the rebel from Gujarat side. And then Barani wrote, "The king was freed from people and the people freed from their king." Right. Then comes Firoz Shah Tughlaq. He opened an employment exchange office, Diwani Khairat for alms and charities to the poor Muslims, including Hajj pilgrimage. Subsidy भी देता था इसी से, दीवानी खैरात से. Darul Shafa Diwani Bandagan for welfare of slaves. Darul Shafa was, I think, sort of a hospital, and Diwani Bandagan for the welfare of slaves, as he had the maximum number of slaves during his rule. Each slave was paid 10 to 100 tankas, and sometimes they also got estates. This hobby of Firoz Shah Tughlaq proved detrimental to the state of maintaining huge number of slaves. So Diwani Bandagan, Darul Shafa, these Bandagan and Darul Shafa, these two were exclusively Firoz Shah Tughlaq's concepts. And Hajj pilgrimage subsidy, employment exchange office, ये भी उसी का था. फिरोज शाह तुगलक दीवानी तिजारात, ये भी एक फिरोज शाह तुगलक का ही कॉन्सेप्ट था. मिनिस्ट्री गेव पॉलिसी अप्रूवल्स फॉर कंस्ट्रक्शंस, क्योंकि इन्होंने कई नए शहर बनवाए तो कंस्ट्रक्शन पे काफ़ी ध्यान था इनका. हक की शर्ब, which was a tax on irrigation, which was 1/10 of the produce to be paid by farmers. तो हक की शर्ब भी कौन लेके आया था? दैट वाज फिरोज शाह तुगलक. दीवानी तिजारात, दीवानी बंदगन, दारुल शफा, employment exchange office, and maximum number of slaves. Okay, now so हक की शर्ब बता दिया. So that was levied on the farmers who used to take water from canals for irrigation purposes. He made a public works department as well and established more than 300 new cities, including Fatehabad, Hisar, and Firozpur. Fatehabad, Hisar, and Firozpur, Jaunpur, Firozabad, earlier called Chandawar under Jaichand. But on a communal side, Firoz Shah Tughlaq imposed jizya on Brahmins, against which many Brahmins protested. So this is one of the points that you can remember. Also, that the fact that Firozabad initially was called as Chandawar, and he imposed jizya, against which many Brahmins protested. He built on many orchards and gardens as well, and made horticultural department as well, and translation department as well, for exchange of ideas between Hindus and Muslims. Firoz Shah Tughlaq determined taxation according to Quranic rules and mainly levied 4 types of taxes: खरज, जिजिया, खुम्स एंड ज़कात. ये स्पेशली फिरोज शाह तुगलक वाले टैक्सेस हैं. खरज जो कि 50% ऑलरेडी बताया था कि लगाता था, मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक के समय में भी 50% खर्च था. इन्होंने जिजिया ऊपर से और लगा दिया. खुम्स और ज़कात ये भी एक प्रकार का टैक्स था. फिरोज शाह चीफ आर्किटेक्ट वाज मलिक शाहना. अब ये कंफ्यूज मत होना, ठीक है. शाहना वाज मार्केट इंस्पेक्टर ड्यूरिंग खिलजी. शाहना वाज सॉर्ट ऑफ अ वॉच टावर में रहने वाला इंस्पेक्टर इन द सराइज, जो हाईवे पे वॉच टावर्स होते थे ड्यूरिंग शेर शाह शूरी. दैट वाज शाहना. और ये अब मलिक शाहना आ गया. दिस इज़ द चीफ आर्किटेक्ट ऑफ फिरोज शाह तुगलक. नाउ फिरोज शाह तुगलक 1351 से 1388 के बीच इनका टेन्योर था. ये 2 अशोकन पिलर्स एक मेरठ से और एक टोपरा से उठा के दिल्ली में रख दिए थे, ठीक है. 2 अशोकन पिलर्स. फिरोज शाह तुगलक ब्रॉट 2 अशोकन पिलर्स इन द दिल्ली. द लास्ट रूलर ऑफ तुगलक डायनेस्टी वाज नसीरुद्दीन महमूद. The dominion of the Lord of the Universe extended from Delhi to Palam. This epithet was given to Nasiruddin Mahmud. The Mongol Timur attacked Delhi during Nasiruddin Mahmud, after which came Daulat Khan for a brief period but was replaced by Timur's commander Khizr Khan. Before leaving India, Timur appointed Khizr Khan as the governor of Delhi, who laid the foundation of Sayyid dynasty. Sayyid dynasty 1445 से 1451 तक चलती है, बहुत छोटे समय के लिए. तो तुगलक, फिरोज शाह तुगलक के बाद लास्ट में तुगलक डायनेस्टी का नसरुद्दीन महमूद आया, जिसको तिमूर ने हरा दिया. और तिमूर के जाने के बाद कुछ समय के लिए नसीरुद्दीन महमूद के बाद एक पपेट रूलर दौलत खान आया था, और दौलत खान के बाद तिमूर ने खिज़र खान को अपॉइंट कर दिया। तो 1445 से 51 केवल 6 साल के लिए सईद डायनेस्टी इस्टेब्लिश हुई, और फाइनली फिर लोधी डायनेस्टी आ गई 1451 से 1526 तक। नाउ दे वर ओनली अफगान्स। अभी तक हम जितने भी पढ़ रहे थे सब टर्क्स थे, टर्किश। अब ये आ गए थे अफगान्स पहली बार, लोधीज। सो बाबर किल्ड इब्राहिम लोधी इन द फर्स्ट बैटल ऑफ पानीपत 1526. सो दैट वाज इब्राहिम लोधी. बट Behlol was the founder of the Lodi dynasty, who extended his empire in Jaunpur in east till the Jaunpur in east, also called as Shiraz East. Nizam, also known as Sikandar Lodi, was the third son of Behlol Lodi. तो पहले बहलोल आए, he led the foundation of Lodi dynasty, and then I think Sikandar was the third son of Behlol Lodi. Ibrahim last होंगे जिनको फिर बाबर ने हरा दिया. So he was the most important ruler. Nizam, also known as Sikandar Lodi, was the most important ruler of Lodhis. सिकंदर लोधीज़ का contribution है, इन्होंने सिटी ऑफ आगरा बना दिया था 1504 में, to exert control over राजस्थान. efficient administration with safe roads and irrigational facilities काफ़ी बनाई थी. ये पेन नेम लिखते थे कुछ, तो पेन नेम इनका गुलराखी था. then सिकंदर लोधी waived off the corn duty and established new yardstick for measurement of land called गाज़े सिकंदरी, which was later adopted by शेर शाह and अकबर. तो इसमें एक पॉइंट है कि सिटी ऑफ आगरा बनाए, पेन नेम गुलराखी, और जो मक्का होता था, मक्का पे जो लगने वाला ड्यूटी था उसको वेव ऑफ कर दिया था सिकंदर लोधी ने. सिकंदर लोधी वाज द थर्ड सन ऑफ बेहलोल लोधी, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रूलर ऑफ द लोधीज डायनेस्टी. देन इब्राहिम लोधी लास्ट थे, जिन्होंने पहले तो 2 बार हारे थे. बैटल ऑफ खटोली में हार गया राणा सांगा से, और फिर कुछ ही साल बाद फिर बाबर के द्वारा भी हरा दिए गए. बैटल ऑफ पानीपत, फर्स्ट बैटल ऑफ पानीपत 1526 में. इस तरह से दोनों सेटबैक्स लगे, बैटल ऑफ खटोली राणा सांगा के द्वारा, और फर्स्ट बैटल ऑफ पानीपत बाबर के द्वारा. उसके बाद लोधी डायनेस्टी बिल्कुल ख़त्म ही हो गई और मुग़ल डायनेस्टी स्टार्टेड.